Hello everyone and welcome to SharpGrad, where we help you make wiser and smarter study abroad decisions. So today I'm actually sitting right in the middle of the University of Manchester, here of course in Manchester, England, United Kingdom. And sitting with me is Rudra, who is actually being featured on this channel for the second time now. So this time I'm actually getting to meet him for the first time face to face, and I decided that let's just sit on the ground, take the full university feeling while we are shooting this video and while we are talking about the University of Manchester, all about it, its programs. And I know that if you are someone who is considering University of Manchester, you are someone who is ambitious, right? What are some of the tips and tricks for you so that you can make the best out of your experience here at Manchester, and once you graduate you are able to get one of those amazing jobs that you're dreaming of? So let's begin. First of all, how are you, Rudra?
I'm good.
Doing well?
I'm really good. The weather is like, it's been, I think I'm seeing sunlight after after lots of months. So yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, even like it's my 6th day in the UK and I'm seeing sunlight for the first time in the last 6 days.
Yeah. But you get used to it actually.
Yeah,
After a point
while
of time, you get used to it.
Correct. Initially the grey weather was like very lazy, right?
Initially it is, but then I come from north of India.
Yeah.
So I was used to extreme sunlight. So for the first 2 months, you'll actually enjoy it.
Correct. And then it's like, it gets a bit depressing, but then you get used to it, like the grey weather and stuff, right?
If you have friends over here, if you're an outgoing person, it won't really get depressing.
Right. So it
Yeah.
works out that way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's start with a little introduction. Can you tell a little bit about your profile, like a quick brief about what's your bachelor's degree in India, your work experience, what are you doing here right now?
Sure. So my bachelor's was in electrical engineering and computing. Then I went on to work as a financial analyst, and then data analyst, and finally as a data engineer. I worked in finance and then in renewable energy sectors. I realized that there was a huge scope for geospatial technologies in renewable energy, along with data and AI technologies. That's so I chose to go for masters from University of Manchester for geospatial information science.
Perfect. Awesome. So like, Rudra, you have a very different profile in terms of the kind of candidates that I'm sure you are meeting around as well, right? You're coming after a lot of experience, a lot of maturity, and I am sure that a lot of students, specifically from India, that you might be meeting around must be freshers, right?
Yeah.
You've already, I mean, throughout your 5-6 years of work experience that you have, you already had developed a very good technical acumen.
Yep.
Here, pursuing the MSc GIS, what kind of new skills have you acquired? Let's get on to that.
Yeah. So I would say I had already experience in, I would say, data analysis. So GIS is kind of a niche of it. You focus a lot on spatial analysis. So mostly working with spatial data, satellite data, geotag data. So it's one particular niche. I had worked, like obviously I had with numbers, text data. I just wanted to niche further into one particular category. Yeah.
So that's basically you're getting to specialize more on the geospatial data.
True.
side.
I wanted to go into climate tech and real estate markets, which really require you to be good at working with spatial data.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Rudra, we both are mature, right? We know that today, if you want to learn something, you can. The whole internet is there, right? If you learn anything from YouTube, stuff like that. What did you get here at Manchester that you think you wouldn't have gotten anywhere else in the world? Like what exclusive thing that you got here at the University of Manchester as compared to anywhere else?
Right. When you say anywhere else, you're saying compared to other universities in the UK?
All the other resources, let's say.
I would say first thing that comes to my mind is that definitely the opportunity for networking, right? Because you get to meet people who are equally passionate about the field you're working, the field you're studying, and you eventually want to work in. That's one. Second thing is in the UK, as you would already know, there's like few cities are the economic hubs after London.
Yeah.
That's Manchester, Birmingham, Cambridge, Oxford.
Yeah.
Manchester, some people say, is going to be the next London in a few years. In a lot of years, but after London, Manchester is the place to be. There's job opportunities, and it's
the city is bustling, right? Like
Yes.
I came from Nottingham. Nottingham was like a student city, relaxed, just a few pubs here and there and 2 universities, right? But the city is bustling. Yeah, continue, sorry.
Yeah. Also, it's much less expensive, I wanted to add.
Yeah,
Yes,
as
compared to London, yeah.
Nice. That's important, right?
Yeah,
That's very important,
true.
because even if you are earning a lot of money in London, but you're not saving anything,
Yes,
then what's the
yes.
point, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, perfect. So one thing is networking, right? Second thing is, what about maybe access to any tools or any resources that the university provided you?
Yeah, so obviously there's multiple, there's many licenses that you just can't afford.
Yeah.
Not even if you're working, not as a student, they're extremely
Yeah.
expensive. You just can't afford them even if you're working back home. So for those cases, you just need to be working somewhere, or you need to be part of the university. Except that you get access to professors who have been working in this field for many years. Like my professor, my supervisor for my eventual dissertation has a 300 million windmill project of Uganda under that he's supervising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, and I want to go back to the industry and work, but I have friends who want to do a PhD. So it's really good good for them, because they have direct access to these professors. They can just email them, meet them anytime they want, and be more clear about. I have lots of friends from India as well who want to pursue a PhD over here. So
Right.
if anyone is interested in the academia, it's really good for them as well.
Awesome. So, like, because I know that the value of a letter of recommendation from one of those professors means a lot across the globe, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So, University of Manchester is one of the top 30 universities in the world, right? And comes at the top 10 in the UK for all the tech-related programs. And the Manchester Business School is considered to be one of the top, I think the 5th best business school in the UK for MBA. And
even for tech, Manchester is top 5 of UK.
Top 5, yeah, I think it's in the top 5 itself.
Yeah.
Manchester is in top 5. Awesome, cool. So yes, I'm sure that the kind of professors, resources, networking that you're having access to right now, you're basically surrounded by really smart people.
Yep.
Right, extremely smart people, which is something undeniable. Okay, cool. So now I really want to talk to people who are currently freshers, or let's say someone who's watching the video. Let's say that person watching the video is our younger brother and sister who is currently in the final year of his or her bachelor's, or just has like 1 year of work experience, has decent grades that should enable them to get into Manchester. What do you think should be the strategy for this person that they are able to land a suitable job once their master's is done? Because in your case, I know that you're already getting some interest from recruiters on LinkedIn, right? So things should work out very well for you, hopefully. And I really hope and wish that, right? But for freshers, it's brutal, right? So does that Manchester brand add any value to a fresher?
It definitely does, and even beyond the brand, the city helps, because I have friends who have done their masters from University of Newcastle and other universities. They have opportunities there as well, but they have got more. They come to this city to interview as well. So London, Manchester, cities have lots of opportunities as well. So you can, even when you're studying, you can apply for part-time opportunities. Network around a lot. And obviously for someone like who doesn't have any experience, or maybe has an experience of 1 year from back home from India, I would suggest just come here in game mode. Do not come here to relax. Like the moment you land here, you should be just come prepared. You should be in interview mode ready from the moment you land over here. Start giving interviews in the first 2 months itself. You don't necessarily have to get the job, but you should feel confident enough to face an interview and be able to at least cross one level of the interview.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you're going to be a student at that time, but just apply. And even if you get rejected, it's okay. We'll at least get to know that for what kind of roles you're getting rejected.
True.
And for what kind of roles you're getting some interest from the recruiters, right? Okay. So I know that let's compare University of Manchester with IIT Delhi. Let's say for a tech program. Let's say compare. Let's just draw parallels. So IIT Delhi has a solid placement cell that's going to make sure that all the students are getting good jobs. How is the employability team here at Manchester?
I would say we can't really compare, because the worlds are very different. IIT Delhi and University of Manchester. Here, throughout the country, it's more of a you do your thing. Whenever you need help, you go to them. If you need help with your designing your CV, or like you reaching out to employers, there'll be pamphlets around. There's a Career Connect portal where there's new jobs posted. That's how I got my part-time role in tech. So you have to be active. No, there's no hand-holding over
here. Correct. And like, is the Career Connect portal actually good? Like, for example, I remember that when I was at Waterloo, the kind of roles that were being posted there, they're quite exclusive to Waterloo. So the chances of getting an interview from those from that job board were more as compared to going on LinkedIn and Indeed, where there are like 1,000 people applying on a job, right? So the Career Connect portal, did you find that to be exclusive enough for the brand value that Manchester has to offer?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because that's actually a very good question, because the first 2 weeks itself, I had a senior from my course. He told me that instead of looking for part-time roles, like part-time roles from our field, because part-time roles in tech, or like more roles that a person would normally want, always look on the Career Connect portal, because LinkedIn and other platforms don't really have these.
Yeah, and like the number of people is crazy,
Yes, true, true.
right? Crazy.
On Career Connect, special thing is another thing is if you're really proactive in the beginning itself, not many people are applying. So if you're another thing, if you start applying in the first 2 months of landing here, you'll have less competition as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
people,
that's true.
People get in part-time work more by the third month of coming here.
And they're partying in the first 2 months.
Yeah. Some people are partying throughout. So just if you're here to earn money, you need to choose your friends carefully.
Yeah, true. No, honestly, like most of the audience that I have is pretty much. I think there are two kinds of people who study abroad, right? One are कि यार पापा का business है क्या tension है, right? पापा मम्मी का business है 50 लाख रुपए क्या होता है?
बिल्कुल.
Right? Then the second category is like myself, right? That by 40 lakh rupees loan and there's that constant worry that how am I going to repay that loan, right?
True.
So if you're one of those, then sorry, but from the day one itself, you will have to, get working.
True.
You will have to get in the game mode and just start applying for jobs and everything from the day one itself, right? ठीक है, okay. So now the last couple of questions. The second last question for you would be, which is like something that I'm asking all the students. So you've spent like 35, 36 lakhs in the tuition
Correct,
fee, right? Now
correct.
30,000 pounds, right? Thumbs up if you found it to be worth it. Not a thumbs up if you found it to be not worth it. And you can say that okay, it depends.
For me, it was definitely a huge thumbs up.
Awesome.
A huge thumbs up for me. Yeah.
Because that's very important as I mean so the park that we are sitting in right now, right, so across the street there's another university which is not considered a very top tier university, and besides, right, there is the University of Manchester itself, right, and there's a huge difference in terms of the tuition fee.
Yeah, true.
I think that you can do 2 master's degrees there and maybe 2.5 master's degrees there in that, right, but the kind of stuff that you are getting access to Manchester, you won't get it anywhere. You won't get it anywhere. The kind of brand value being added to your profile. I know that you're having to invest like 16,000 pounds extra, but it's a long-term investment. Right, this is going to compound over the next 15 years. You do not have to look at it over the next 1 or 2 years only.
True.
The brand value on your resume is going to compound over the next 15 years. The connections that you will build here, you will be getting the best result of them 5 to 10 years down the line.
True.
Not right now.
True. I mean, yeah, it would be even in India. Like we can take a parallel. Like being from one of the top IITs, because there's lots of colleges over there, can definitely maybe get your foot in the door for an interview. But you need to be ready for the interview. No one is hiring any IITs just because they are from an IIT.
True.
You need to be good. Every startup, any decent enough business firm wants their person to be good enough. That's when they hire them.
True.
It's the same over here. The brand value definitely helps you, and it will compound over the next 10 years because you'll have a good alumni circle. You'll meet good people. The city helps you as well, but you have to be like a strong candidate yourself as well.
Awesome. Perfect. Good to know that. So honestly, the purpose of this whole trip has been to meet amazing students like Rudra and to just get to know about their experiences. So I'm really happy that Manchester turned out to be a positive one for you, right?
100%.
And now this section is known as Besharam Marketing. Right? So it is that. How has been your experience working with SharpGrad?
बेशरम मार्केटिंग मेरा तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहा था. ठीक है, बिल्कुल पूरा हिंदी में ही करेंगे. और I always say this, पर फिर से मैं कहूँगा because मेरे लास्ट वीडियो में भी था, and because this is absolutely true. So मेरे केस में I began looking for an education counselor. I think around last year, April or May. We met in April, right?
In April, yeah.
April. So just before that, I was prepping for GRE because I thought a good GRE score will help me get scholarships and stuff. So I was only focused on GRE and building my profile, getting internships in UNICEF and working at UNICEF, etc. So when I reached out to counselors, I won't name them, but all the big names, I reached out to like 4 or 5 of them. They looked at my profile. All they looked at were grades. Like, oh, your grades are not in the 80s. You know what? You should go for the and they named some of the absolute worst universities.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that they'll give you a scholarship. The fees will be cheap, and there's no other way for you. So after speaking to like 4 or 5 of them, I was absolutely convinced that maybe there's no way. I need to choose like a rank 100, 120 some university. It was Harit in the first call itself. He was super relaxed. So the University of Manchester is possible. Even like we can look at all the universities. And finally, we ended up getting offers from Leeds, Manchester.
Yeah, quite a few.
There were many, Bristol.
I think in our case, it was Imperial that got rejected, right?
Yeah, Imperial was the only one we didn't get.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got into everyone. So that's the level of marketing they're doing in India. So definitely work with someone you really know. because at they're looking for openings how to manipulate you. If you have got lower grades, they'll just go to this university.
Yeah.
They'll manipulate you really well.
So you guys always do the research because see, it's your career, your life, right? We as counselors, we as agents, we all work on this model that the universities pay us, and you know that. I think everyone knows that now, right? And every university pays, to be honest. Like, there are only a few that do not pay, and mostly the students that are targeting those universities, they are figuring out things on your own, or it's a different story altogether, right, for them. But it's your career, your life. Please do thorough research on the kind of university that you're targeting, the kind of program that you're targeting. It is something that is going to shape your career, not just in the short term but in the long term, but throughout your life maybe, right? So thank you so much, Rudra, for
Thank you.
For giving me your time. I know you have a class right after 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that, and I hope that you rock it here. I really hope that you're able to.
Hopefully, I'll be back in the job section of the
Yeah,
the
very
series.
soon, very soon. The next step that I have, I hope to see you somewhere, in one of those large buildings in Manchester. We're sitting there in your cabin and shooting a video there.
That'll be
Right?
amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you.